All right, next game. It is the Jaguars at the Packers. This line opened up Packers minus 14. It's down to 13.5 in some sports books, but 14 in others. So who do you like in this game?
I actually like the Jaguars, and this is a good example of last week. I said I was afraid of Jake Luton, and I didn't know why. Evidently, I was right to be afraid of that for some reason, because he did end up covering. Now, I don't think the Jaguars have a prayer of winning this game, but I think that they could cover. I think people are going to be a little bit biased towards the Packers because of their last win against the 49ers, where they just completely demolished them for most of the game. And look, they looked at really good, but then they allowed like some late garbage time touchdowns. But their defense, they have some issues. They cannot stop the run at all. And they blow coverages too often. Like Richie James had a bigger day than Devontae Adams last week, which is insane when you say that out loud. And that was against the team missing their top 4 pass catching weapons. So the Jaguars actually have some good weapons. And I'm worried that if Jair Alexander, who's dealing with a concussion, doesn't play in this game, that if Jake Luton gets time in the pocket, he's going to be able to throw to DJ Chark. Laviska Shenault is questionable, but Chris Conley's still there. James Robinson catch passes out of the backfield. So I think that I think that the Jaguars might be able to get a backdoor cover here. I think Green Bay still wins, but we're talking about potentially a 2-touchdown line or something just shy of a 2-touchdown line. I'm confident Aaron Rodgers wins this game and probably by double digits, but I don't know if it gets to 2 touchdowns. So I'm just sticking with the Jaguars for now. We'll see if Jair Alexander plays. I'll probably change that, but need to see a little more there.
Yeah, I assumed Alexander was going to play. I mean, he suffered a concussion on Thursday, so he's had extra time to get ready. If he's out, that's definitely a big factor because that's like yet another number 1 corner that DJ Chark gets to avoid. But if Alexander plays, like Chark's not going to do anything, and then Jake Luton has to depend on the other receivers, and I don't see it happening for him. Like the Jaguars were down, what was it, like 11 points in the second half against the Texans at one point. And the Texans are terrible. And the Packers have had extra time to prepare for this game. If Alexander comes back, then I think the Packers can shut down whatever the Jaguars are trying to do. Conversely, I don't know how Jacksonville's defense stops Aaron Rodgers at all. Like Jacksonville has an abysmal defense too. And Rodgers might be getting Allen Lazard back, so he doesn't have to depend on Marquez Valdes-Scantling anymore. Aaron Jones is going to be healthier. Jacksonville's defense is just terrible. They won't be able to stop Jones. I figured like Jones could be like the top producing running back this week. I think this is going to be a blowout. I just don't see it happening. And so I was kind of extra careful here. And I was like, are the Packers going to be looking ahead or are they going to be distracted? Like, I don't see them being distracted by beating the Niners, especially off a long week. And then next week they play the Colts. So there's nothing to look forward to there. So I think this is going to be the Packers winning going away. I think Luton self-destructs against like a real opponent. I like the Packers for a couple units, and we're 4 for 4 in disagreements.
That's impressive. This usually doesn't happen. I mean, we were 14 for 14 last week in agreeing. So maybe this will be better off. We at least get some diversity there. One thing I do agree with what you say. I don't think the Jaguars are going to stop the Packers defense very often. And I do think Aaron Jones is going to be the top fantasy running back this week. He's number 1 in Sporting News' fantasy football for this week. So can definitely agree. I'm just like, I wonder, I just worry about big numbers in games, and I'm just irrationally afraid of Jake Luton. That's what this boils down to.
Well, Garland kidnapped him for a reason, as we learned in Final Fantasy 1. But we have to agree on 5 games at least because we have a joint Super Contest entry that we have to try to win money in. So hopefully there are 11 more games left to talk about, or 10 more games to talk about. So hopefully we agree on at least half of those.